Well, 4 years ago, I became a Christian 4 years ago. And it all started before that. Someone asked me a question, and the question was, if I die today, am I going to heaven? And the answer to that question wasn't right there for me because I didn't know. I didn't know the answer. I didn't know what it meant to say yes. Although I said yes just to get the guy away. You know, go away, I don't want to talk about it. But it was stirred inside me for a long time, the answer to that question. And so I needed to learn, and I finally did learn, that the way to heaven is through Christ. And now I can answer yes to that. So it's part of my testimony, but it also is part of my golf game now. I do have a higher faith, a higher hope. You know, I realize that golf, what I do is for this world. And when I'm playing golf, getting in a pinch, a bad situation, a double bogey, a triple bogey, a missed cut, I still have so much more. So much more. And it just makes life, it makes living here so bearable. Fellowship meant a lot to me before I became a Christian. And in fact, it did as much as anything else to move me towards Christianity, true Christianity. Fellowship on the PGA Tour, fellowship in my church at home, fellowship in my house with my wife and her friends especially. But on the PGA Tour, like you say, you make the cut. No church, right? No church. And you don't want to go out there and miss the cut just so you can go to church. No, that's not, I don't think that's what the Lord wants for me to do. So we have the Bible study on Wednesday nights. It's open for everybody, players, caddies. Usually there's between 12 and 30 players or people there. We have a leader, and we just spend an hour or so just studying the Bible and learning a little bit about a certain passage. Maybe talking about each other's lives a little bit, sharing things that we all have in common and that you and I all have in common. You know, we spend a lot of time out on the tour, whether it's in Japan or Australia or South Africa or Europe or America. We spend a lot of time on our own and lonely, and we're our own accountability. We have to make our own decisions of what we do. Well, on the PGA Tour with our Bible study and what you guys have together, you can be accountable to each other. I can be accountable to Tom Lehman or to Ben Crane or Lee Jansen or any of the number of players that go to the Bible study. And we can help each other out. And we need each other. Well, I think that, you know, when you get married, two people basically become one union. And it's almost like a rebirth of two people. And it's just a perfect way for people to be reborn in the Lord. It just leads right in. For us, we had kids early on. I'm 31. My oldest son's 11. So early kids. When my son was born, it was very important to us to have our kids in the church and have them brought up the right way. And so that, along with being married, was just it was perfect for me, perfect timing to get me involved. And it kicked me in the right direction. And I was just thankful now that it's 11 years later, I'm thankful that the Lord led me that direction. We're lucky that we have the camera on us sometimes. You know, we have to play well to get the camera on us, but when we do, we have a chance to reach a lot of people in just an instant, just really fast. And you know, it's one thing to say, I thank God that I was able to make that birdie there and finish first in that tournament. But I think the real message you send people is just by living your life day to day. Set an example. You know, follow the footsteps that Jesus Christ laid down for you. That's the real example. And if you have a chance to spread the word through the TV or however you can, it's great to do it that way too. But without really living a Christian life, then all that may be seen as not real. My favorite verse probably is not quoted by many, and it's a long verse, Psalm 73. In that verse, I can identify with that verse so much because I spend a lot of time away from my family. And I spend a lot of time around people that don't understand the Christian life and that certainly don't live the Christian life. Is it David in Psalms? All the 73rd Psalm? in the 73rd Psalm, David is seeing those who are living the life of this world, basically. They are wrapping themselves up in sinful things, in money, in sin, basically. And he's wondering, why have I chose the Christian faith? Why have I chose to be good, yet they have all the fun? The ones out there that are partying, that are drinking, that are doing all this stuff that is not right, all these sinful things, why are they the ones that are receiving all the prizes, the money? Why are they the ones getting the good jobs? And you start to really feel lonely. And in the psalm, he felt the same way. He felt lonely, he felt angry, until he realized that one day all that will be paid for. All that living the wrong life will be paid for. Because Jesus is coming back, and he's going to make his judgment on that day. The reason that we choose the faith and we say no to all the things that are of this world is because we know Jesus is coming back one day, and on that day we will have the glory with him. And that psalm to me means so much because I spend so much time seeing all this. I'm out without the family. This week I'm in Japan. Tommy spends a lot of time out of the country, away from his family, and I'm sure he can identify with that too. That psalm to me hits home right in my heart.